talk is explore where you
I realized my microphone was off. Definitely send this out, share this link, share with those that you know. And we're going to get this call started in the next couple of seconds. So for those on IG, for those that are on YouTube Live, you guys can see that today's topic is the 4 reasons why you're not seeing progress right now. So a lot of us right now, and before we dive into the topic, the reason why I chose this topic is because I know a lot of us are getting our goals set up for 2022. A lot of us are preparing ourselves for 2022, but realistically, you should be living your days 30 to 90 days in advance. So while a lot of people are still enjoying 2021, me and my team, we've already been living in 2022 since September, right? So it's always important that you guys are preparing in advance before, you guys are setting yourselves up for success. In order to do that, you guys got to make sure you're preparing yourself. So we're going to get started, family, because I got a solid 30 minutes to be able to drop this value for you guys. And then we'll get it going. So again, welcome to Breakfast with Aldron. So happy and grateful to have you guys back on the call. Really excited about the value that you guys are gonna be receiving today. But first and foremost, guys, let's just give a quick shout out to you, because you could have been doing anything else in the world. You could have been just sitting back. Some of us kind of was getting lit last night. Some of us were turning up last night, right? You guys could have been hungover, just chilling out in the bed. Some of you might even be doing that still. But I say this to say, I'm so grateful having you guys onto the call. So we're going to dive right into it, family. So again, the topic today is the 4 reasons why you're not seeing progress right now. I myself, last year, I was just asking why is things not going the way I wanted to? I've been doing everything right. Everything that my friends have been telling me to do, I've been following, and I'm just not seeing progress. Drop a 111 in the chat if you guys can relate. If you feel like you've been doing everything you need to consistently, but you're not seeing the results out of it. Or if you just feel like you're stuck. A lot of us feel stuck right now. We feel like we want to change. We want better things in our life, but we just can't understand why things aren't happening the way we want to. So what I identified was 4 main reasons why a lot of people are feeling stuck. A lot of people aren't seeing progress. They feel like they're still in the same exact spot when they started. And hopefully when you guys get these 4 reasons, you'll start to make sense of what you need to do to be able to carry out the action to be able to do what you guys need to do, right? So the first reason for why people aren't seeing progress is because they still don't know what they want, right? A lot of people are still contemplating, right? Understand, guys, if you don't know where you're going nowhere fast. Too many people are living in that state of limbo where they do one thing and then they expect a different result. Guys, what is that called? When you do one thing and you keep doing it over and over and over again, you're expecting a different result. Guys, that's called insanity. How can you expect the same action to lead to a different result? So that's one thing. But when you're in that state of not knowing, right? I want you guys to understand that being a human being, let me tell you guys what's really special about you. Being a human being, you can change who you are at any given moment. Because unlike any other creature on this planet, right? We have the ability to changing ourselves, right? Because we were gifted with the conscious mind. Right? An animal will always be an animal. A dog will always be a dog. A frog can't change itself. A cat will always be a cat. But a human being can change their entire world starting up here. Why do you think the most successful people out there came from nothing? If you guys really think about it, any successful individual literally came from the bottom. They came from absolutely nothing, right? But they decided at one instant that they wanted to make a change. Now, this didn't happen overnight, but it started with consistent action. They knew what they wanted. They took the right action each and every single day, and they got the results that they wanted to. But it all starts with knowing exactly what you want. What I challenge you guys at the end of this call is to write down exactly what do you want. And I don't mean just writing, I want to make $1 million. I want to be successful. Specify what kind of house will you live in? What kind of smells will be in your environment, right? Who are the people you will see? Are people going to be shouting your name, or is everyone going to know you just by face because of how much you've impacted them? You have to be very specific on the things that you want in your life in order to create that. But a lot of people are giving general goals that aren't specific, and they wonder why they can't shoot for them. If your goal is too general, then you can't manifest that. You want to get specific. Guys, I write down exactly where I want to live. I write down the street. I put it on my screensaver. I go to, as far as for my dream car, guys, I've gone to such extremes. I've traveled over 5 hours. I've traveled 5 hours to go see and sit in the car that I've always dreamed of having. I traveled 5 hours. Like, who does that? Like, that's an unnecessary amount of gas used, right? But I traveled that far just so I can feel what the car of my dreams feels like. So I can sit in the car, so I can start the car up. I can feel it, guys. It all starts with the feeling, right? But I want you guys, getting back onto the 4 reasons, right? I want you guys to make a decision, believe it, visualize it, right? And put the work in. But don't force the outcome. Sometimes we'll go too hard and don't realize that things happen over time, right? Because that's what time stands for. Things I must experience. Too many times we want to push the things that we want into reality. We try too hard. You guys ever heard that? I know we got some ladies on the call, right? You guys ever, ladies, you ever have like a guy reach out and, he's cool and all that, right? But then he starts to try too hard, right? It just doesn't feel right at that while, right? You guys feel like the guys, even fellas, same thing with you guys, right? You ever feel like someone's just trying too hard and it becomes unattractive? Guys, that's the same way the universe works. If you try too hard, it's like the universe doesn't want to give you what you want because now you're just being unnecessary. You're not letting it naturally take its course, right? So understand what you want, guys, and make sure that you're being as descriptive as absolutely possible. So the second reason, right, for why people aren't seeing progress is because they change their mind too frequently, right? We call that being indecisive. If you say one day you want to be successful and then the next day you say, oh, you don't know if you can do it, guys, you're sending 2 complete opposite mixed signals into the universe. So when we send out mixed signals in the universe, well, the universe starts to get in motion. The moment your thoughts go, the moment you think of an idea, the universe is starting to go into motion to help deliver that to you. But what people don't understand is you can't say you want one thing or think about one thing one day, and then the next day you think about the complete opposite. If you say you want to be successful, you can't have thoughts of questioning whether you can or not. If you guys want to live the life that you deserve, you can't start to question yourself if you actually deserve that. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing is sending mixed signals out. So you have to be clear and decisive of what exactly you want. And guys, I'm here to tell you, anything you do want, you have full capability of achieving that. And that's no cap. But too many people are doubting themselves. They're doubting what they're capable of. If you guys check my IG out right before this call, I dropped a post on my feed. And it says that we aren't conscious of what we're capable of. We doubt ourselves too much. But I tell you guys, one thing that I've noticed that has helped me is that I always bet on myself. Even when no one else bets on me, I always bet on myself, because at the end of the day, no one's going to hold myself more accountable than me. No one's going to be able to get myself to those goals except for me. So why not bet on myself, right? So I want to give you guys the rule of 5 story, right? And this really helped people understand why it's so important to be very decisive on what you want, right? And the story is very short, but it's very, very impactful. And the story is about an axeman, right, who lived out in the woods, and there was a tree that he had to chop down, right? So The axeman knows what he needs to do. He knows he needs to chop down this tree. So he has in his mind, I need to chop down that tree. What he also does, right? So he knows, so just to go back, the first part of the rule of five is knowing what you want. The axeman knows he needs to cut down the tree, right? The second step, right, is that he chooses the right tools for a job. Now, think about this, guys. If you're an axeman, right, if you're out in the woods trying to chop down a tree, are you going to be able to do that with a shovel? Right? Right? So we can know what we want, but if we're not using the right tools, we're not going to get the job done. So you have to make sure you're choosing the right tools. You're choosing the right things that are going to help you achieve what you want. Right? A shovel is not going to help you chop down a tree. You need an axe or a chainsaw, right? Now, the third rule is he was focused on attacking the same tree every single day. He didn't go out chopping multiple trees. He focused on one tree and said he's going to chop that specific tree down. Too many of us are going out chopping multiple trees at once, and then we get frustrated because when you start on a new tree, what are you doing, guys? What's happening when you start on a completely new tree? You're starting over again. So if you keep choosing different trees every single day, well, you can't get upset that you feel like you're starting over every single time. You're choosing another tree instead of being focused on that one tree. Focus stands for following one course until successful. Stop hopping from tree to tree and you didn't chop down the first one, right? So the rule of five says for the third rule, he was focused. Now, rule number 4 says he was consistent. He hit the same tree at the same point every single day, right? He didn't start down here and start hitting up here. He started in hitting the same exact point each and every single day. So consistency, being consistent with what you're doing. I know it's really hard, family. I know it can be challenging. I know it's so difficult to be consistent. Guys, I struggle with it myself. Sometimes I don't want to be consistent. Sometimes I don't want to get out of bed. I want to just sit down with my family. I just want to be comfortable, right? But guys, what happens when you live in comfortability? What happens if you stay comfortable and you live in your comfort zone too long, right? I got my sis Jalissa on here, right? You should know this, right? What happens when you live in that comfort zone too long? Someone tell me. What happens when you live in your comfort zone way too long, family? Exactly. You stop growing. When you live in your comfort zone for too long, you're not growing anymore. There's no more growth. And if you're a plant, right? If you think of a plant, what happens to a plant that no longer grows? It dies. So you have to understand, family, that yes, it's okay to live in our comfort zone, right? Otherwise, if we don't, exactly, right? You let opportunities pass you by as well, right? So it's just so important to make sure that, yes, we can live in our comfort zone, but at the same time, we don't want to live in there because when you live in there, there's no growth. You can't develop. You can't be the best version of yourself, right? So the fifth rule of the 5, right, is the axeman didn't stop until the task was completed. Too many of us are quitting and we're literally 3 feet away from the goal that we want, but we quit. Guys, there is no window. Like God's not going to give you the expiration date. He's not going to tell you, okay, sis, bro, you're going to achieve your goals at this point, right? Because what would happen, guys, if we knew the exact time and day we would get our goal, we would achieve our goals? We would be lazy. We wouldn't put the work in. We would sit back and say, all right, I already know when this is going to happen, so I'm just going to sit back. We get too comfortable. That's the thing with life. You're guaranteed to achieve what you want, but the thing that separates most people is that they don't know when they're going to get it. And a lot of times people will quit on themselves. They will quit on themselves before giving themselves enough time to achieve it. Guys, whatever you want, it's already done. You already have it. But too many people are quitting on themselves because they say, oh, they've been doing it too long. They start to give themselves the idea that, oh, I've been putting in a lot of work right now. What's a lot of work? You think success is supposed to be easy? You think breaking generational curses is supposed to be easy? No. That's why it's called generational curse, because it's been compounded for generation after generation after generation. Do you really think you're going to break 5 years, 5 generations worth of misery and poverty in a matter of a year? Do you really think you're going to do that? No. So stop quitting on yourself, finish the task, and then come back to me and tell me it didn't work. Which I guarantee you won't, because you'll have what you want. So again, family, stop changing your mind so frequently and stick to the task. Don't quit until it's done. Then come back to me and tell me it didn't work. Or you can thank me. So that is the second reason, right, family? That's the second reason for why a lot of people aren't seeing the result that they want, because they're quitting too easily. They're quitting way too fast. So the third reason for a lot of people aren't seeing the results that they want, right? They're not seeing any type of progress, is they're spending too much time being distracted. Guys, this is a big one. And we all know social media, it's so powerful because that brings you guys onto this call. It connects us, but at the same time, with great power comes great responsibility. So if you're not using the access, you're not using the tools that you have responsibly, guys, we already know it can be a whole rabbit hole, right? TikTok, right? The human attention span is like so short these days, right? And TikTok literally capitalizes on it. Not to say it's bad. I make TikToks myself, but it can be a rabbit hole, because when you get focused on it too much, when you focus on the things that aren't helping you grow too much, then you get stuck in that limbo, right? Too many of us end up scrolling through the news feed and we're just seeing all this stuff, all this negativity. People who watch the news, like, guys, I don't even watch the news that often anymore, because it's just all negative. It's all negative. So I always say this, and my mentor told me this. He said, Algeron, if it's not giving power to what you want to achieve in life, then it's a distraction, right? And too many of us, he said, including you, he called me out on it. You know, he was like, honestly, bro, he said, you're too distracted on your problems right now. You're so focused about what's not going right in your life that you're missing out on what's going right. I was like, wow. So I say this to say, if you want to be successful, immerse yourself in your goals. Like, be deeply involved. It might sound weird, but it's not. But you have to be essentially in a relationship with your goals, right? Guys, you know, for those that are in relationships, for those that have been into relationships, right? You got to put time into it. You can't just, put a little bit of effort in and then just kind of forget about it. No, you got to put time into it. You got to, you have to spend time with that person. You have to go out with that person, right? You have to think about that person, right? That becomes a part of your life. If your goals aren't a part of your life each and every single day, then you're not really that serious about it. And I'm only saying this as somebody that has come from that point. I wasn't serious about my goals. I had kids. I have I have kids, right? And I wanted my kids to be as happy as possible, but it sounded good, but did I really, really want that? Not to say I don't want my kids to be happy, but it was just like my actions were a reflection of what I really wanted, and I wasn't doing any of the work. So that really shows me, like, that was like a wake-up call. I was like, do I really want this though? And for me, it was Christmas of last year where I didn't have the money to give the gifts I wanted to my kids. And that gave me a wake-up call, because my kids were disappointed. And for parents out there, for even people who don't have kids, you have nieces, nephews, little cousins, like, it breaks your heart to be the reason why a little kid gets upset, right? Is it just me? Right? Does it like shatter your heart when a little kid was expecting something of you and you couldn't deliver? It's a horrible feeling. And that was the feeling I had that really gave me the wake up call to understand that I need to get my ish together. Right? So again, be immersed into your goals. Be deeply focused on a specific task. Any thought that's not giving power to your goals is a distraction, period. If it's not helping you get closer to your goal, it's a distraction. Is IG helping you build your business? It's not. It's a distraction. You're spending time with people who are who are, always talking about negative stuff, who's always just smoking, drinking. They're not really goal oriented. They just sit around doing the same thing. Are you hanging out with them? Well, guess what? They're a distraction. They're not supporting you. They're not helping you. They're not sharing your business. People aren't out there supporting you. Guess what? The time you're spending worrying about that, it's a distraction. Guys, I really want you guys to understand this is a big one because there's so many distractions in our life, right? A lot of you guys are millennials like me. A lot of you guys, we're all, within the same age group. You may not be, but we live in a time now full of distractions. And it's only up to you to be able to filter out what's a distraction and what's going to help you get closer to your goal. But I can't hold your hand to do that. No one can hold your hand to do that. You have to be able to understand what your goals are, and anything that's not helping you get closer to that is a distraction, right? So that's the third reason for why a lot of people aren't seeing success. And then the fourth reason, right? The fourth reason for why you're not seeing progress is you're not managing your emotions. You're letting outside circumstances affect your inner peace. So if you're too emotionally involved with things on the outside world, it's going to be difficult for you to be successful. What does that mean? It means that when you're spending too much of your emotional intelligence worrying about somebody, that whether or not they approve of what you're doing, you're so focused on whether or not your best friends or your family is supporting you, supporting your business, supporting your dreams, all that energy you're wasting is the reason why you can't focus on your goals, right? I always say, right, and monks do this, right? The monks do this. They live from the inside out. Too many of us are living from the outside in. What does that mean? We're letting things around us affect us. We're trying to control all the things in our life, and essentially they're not helping us. We're spending too much of our emotional energy on things that don't really matter. Do we want people to support us? Yes. Do we want people to celebrate us? Absolutely. Do we want to feel special? Guys, yes. There's nothing wrong with wanting to feel important. There's nothing wrong with wanting to feel special. But there has to come a time where you have to make the decision to become a lone wolf. You have to. That's the only way you're going to get what you want. You have to make the decision that it doesn't matter who believes in me. I accept everything that God in the universe has in store for me. I have that actually written on a piece of paper in my room. And I read that to myself, not every day, I'd be lying, but I read it to myself frequently. I put it in front of my TV where I always will see it. But I accept everything that God in the universe has in store for me. It doesn't matter whether people accept me or not, right? Guys, I dealt with bullying all my life, right? For those that know me personally, I've dealt with emotional and physical abuse, right? It didn't matter though to me. I knew that I was going through that for a certain purpose. I wasn't looking at the short term, right? I wasn't dedicating my energy towards that. I was dedicating my energy towards the long term, that I'm going through this so I can help somebody else get through it, right? But guys, understand, managing your emotions determines your internal, and your internal determines your external. So how you feel inside, people should be able to see that. And then you affect other people's mood because of how your inner peace is. When you get to a level where your inner peace is so strong, people look at you, they're just around you, and naturally their mood improves, right? I go into a room, people are like, Aljon, your energy is crazy. Like, I can feel it. Like, I meditated with a friend not too long ago, and they were like, I couldn't even focus on meditating. I was like, why? They said, because your energy was absolutely radiating, right? That's how you know you got into a higher level of you. When your inner peace, you're just naturally being you, right? You're just naturally you, but people feel your energy radiating off of you, and it affects them. That's how you know you've reached a very pinnacle point of emotional intelligence. But I'm still learning, guys. I'm still learning right with you. I'm not coming on here like I'm some high figure. Like, I'm figuring it out right along with you guys. But I'm telling you that that's how you know you've reached another level. When someone just comes out to you and they say, wow, sis, your energy is crazy right now, right? You guys will start to feel like my ladies out here, right? You guys will start to just feel, fellas just start to radiate. You guys be a magnet. If you guys aren't already, you'll be more of a magnet because people just want to be around you. You want to be that sun that just everyone just kind of grows towards your direction, right? That's how you know you've reached a high level of emotional intelligence. But it all starts, if you want to see progress in your life, right? If you want to see the level of success that you deserve, you have to be better in control of your emotions, right? We say we are supposed to respond to things, not react, right? We respond to negative circumstances. We don't react. Because the moment you react, you give power to whatever that thing or person is. Some people will test you, right? Some people are testing you right now, and they want to see you break. They want to see you break. They want to see how strong you really are. Guys, I don't give people the satisfaction. People will tell me, I'm not worth anything. I'm not going anywhere. People will doubt what I do. They'll say that they'll call me whatever they want to, but all I do is, guess what? Because my inner peace is so strong, hey, send all nothing but the best to you, brother. And then just move on. They can say the craziest things to me, and I don't let that affect me because I've gotten to a point where I accept me, and that's all I ever will need. Anybody else, like, it's just a bonus. I appreciate it, but at the end of the day, my inner peace is so strong, I don't need anybody else to validate it, right? So I want you guys to work on this, and I promise you, it will change your life, family. It will. So just to recap, guys, just for those that hopped on, I want to make sure you guys get these, right? So we said the 4 reasons for why you're not seeing progress is 1, you still don't know what you want. 2 was you're changing your mind too frequently, right? 3, we said you're spending too much time on your distractions. And number 4, you're not managing your emotions. You're letting your outside circumstances affect you. I promise if you guys are hopping on this late, it's okay. Check out the recording on both Breakfast with Aldron on YouTube. You guys can check out my IG and my IGTV, right? But I want you guys to really watch this. Take notes on how to be able to do this. And I promise you, family, you will see such progress. But it all starts with being consistent and starting today, taking the actions that you guys need. So I hope you guys got some value. Please share this with your family, your friends, anybody you know that might be going through a hard time right now, family. Absolutely love you guys. Our Breakfast with Aldron community is growing, and I'm so grateful for you guys. Like, we're literally going to turn this into a massive movement, family. I'm already speaking this to existence. We're gonna have apparel. We're gonna have coffee mugs. We're gonna have hoodies, right? Y'all saw the T-shirt last week, but we're getting some traction, guys. So it just all comes with the community that we built, family. Who knows, right? Maybe we'll even create a Breakfast with Aldron crypto coin. Am I thinking too big? Nah, but anyways, family, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate y'all. Have an amazing weekend, guys. And I will see you guys next week. Always, always, always strive for your goals. Don't ever let up one day. And I love you guys. Have an amazing and a blessed weekend, family. Love you guys.